All right, this will be part 2 of our golf ball lesson. And what we're going to do right now is, now that we've already done the baseball over the top of the golf ball, we're going to do a completely different type of object. And so what we're going to do is take a face. And so we'll open that file. And once we open the file, you'll see that we're going to have to lasso like we did last time. And what we're going to do is make sure that when we move this image over the top, really the critical part of this is making sure that we can cover the full image with the other image. And so I'm just going to go ahead and stretch this out with our transform tool and keep it looking relatively normal. And so let's go ahead and take the opacity down here, and at the same time what we're going to do is stretch this enough to where we don't over stretch it and make his face not look normal. And at the same time we're trying to get enough coverage here to where we don't have to do any real background work. And so we're just going to go ahead and take a look here, see what we have after we stretch this. We of course have to go ahead and we have to apply the image. Now let's hopefully we'll get a decent image here. And as you can see, we do have a pretty decent image. We'll take the opacity back up so we can see this image. And it is a little pixely, but we'll just go ahead and deal with it for the purpose of this lesson today. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and move him into a position, his image into a position where it sits on the tee and not have to worry too much about the area behind him. And so we're going to drop him in like that. And we'll just go ahead and leave him right there. And so now I'm going to take this opacity back up and I'm going to lasso his face. And so we're going to again use the magnetic lasso. Of course I have to apply what I did first. And so I'm going to take the magnetic lasso. I've got 2 pixels on here, so I've got a little bit of a feather here, so that if I don't get his image perfectly lassoed, that's alright. We're going to have a little bit of a feather here and should let us lasso without too many problems. And if it does have a problem, we'll just come back later and fix it and rework that area. Okay? And that's one of the reasons why we're using the magnetic lasso, is so that we don't have to do a whole bunch of extra work. And by doing all that extra work, and it did jump a little bit there on me, I'm going to back up just a little here and try to make sure it doesn't jump too much on me, and we'll see how this goes. And remember, if it does jump on you a little bit, that's okay. We're going to we'll be able to come back into this image later on and erase a little bit if we need to, and that's perfectly fine. We're just trying to get this to a point where we don't have to do quite so much cleanup work. If we do have to do some cleanup work, and you can see how it's jumping to the outside there, that's fine. I can do a little bit of cleanup work there with my eraser like we talked about before. Now we're going to do the layer new and via copy, and you can see here that we've now got his face. So you can see I am going to have to do a little bit of cleanup work here and to soften that. Okay, and that's fine. That's exactly what I expected. So now I'm going to resize him just a little bit more, reposition him on the tee, and see if I can't get him a little closer here to being, you know, a little more normal size, or look like he's a little more normal size. Maybe even move him over just a hair there. And I am going to have to color in this background layer, so that's okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do here is, of course, I'm going to get my eraser tool, and I applied what I just did because I resized him. So I'm going to get my eraser tool, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm on the correct layer here, so I'm not going to be erasing the wrong image, and I can actually get rid of this layer if I want. So let's just go ahead and zoom in, and we're going to try to clean him up a little bit. And I'm not going to do him any favors, so I'm trying to make him look funny. So if his ears are a little pointy, or you know, something's not quite right, that's okay. And we'll just come in here and clean him up. That's a little too much, so I'm going to have to back up, which that's a good mistake to show you. So I'm just going to come in here, try to clean him up a little bit, and maybe I need to do shorter moves here instead of trying to do so much with one broad, swift pull here. So I'm going to come in and just lightly grab his face and come in a little bit. And I'll stop right there. And then I'll come in and erase a little bit. And if I get him perfect, great. If I don't, see how I came in a little too much there? I've got to edit and step back here. So you want to take your time, and sometimes these images can be a little challenging, but never, too overly so. You don't want to get hung up on them too much, and make sure that you're just staying with the work. And I'm going to try to get through this a little bit faster than I normally would, and so we'll come over here and try to make sure we lasso just nicely around the edge of his face a little bit. Stop again, so if I do make a mistake, I don't want to have to erase a whole bunch of work I just did. So I'm just going to stop there and then start erasing again. That way, if I do make a mistake, I can always come back, and I haven't lost all that work that I did because I had to undo, edit, undo. Now I'll come around the edge of his ears here and just try to soften those up a little bit. And let's see, around the top of his head a little bit. It's a little pointy on the hair. And that'll, make it look a little more realistic too if you soften them up a little bit. Instead of these big old bumps here, I'm just going to soften them up just a little. Makes it look a little more realistic. And now I can come back and try to clean up any little fine points that I didn't like before. I can always come back and just touch up here and there. And for our class, this is good enough. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave him the way he is right now. I'm going to zoom back out. So I'm going to hold down the Command key, minus key. And you can see here I'm going to have to replace some of this image, but I'm not going to do that right now. What I am going to do is save this and make sure I don't forget to save my work. Now I can come into this other layer here and do a copy and paste. And so what we're going to do is clone this area so that we can get the area behind him looking pretty nice. So I'm going to get this golf ball with this area right through here and out here, and then hopefully it'll hide his face a little bit. I'm going to make sure I have a nice fuzzy brush for that when I do the clone tool, which I do, and I could probably use a larger tool, maybe even just a little bit larger, because I want to work quickly for you guys. And there we go. So let's go ahead and hold down the Option key, set the area I want to clone, and now I can come in here and clone in this background a little bit. And I'm going to come over here, do the same thing. And nobody will ever be the wiser. And let's go ahead and save our work one more time. And now I'm going to zoom out, hold down the Command key, the minus key, and there you go. You can see that we've changed this look here a little bit. Now the only thing that isn't quite right is probably the shadow that comes down this side of the face. Maybe I want to change that with my image here and go with the edit here, and we'll go to our transform, and then we will flip horizontal. Oh, I have the wrong layer. That's a good mistake to show you. Edit, step backwards. Let's select the face layer, and we'll go ahead and go to our edit, transform, and flip horizontal. And there you go. It doesn't look quite the same. We need to move him over a little bit. And I think that I actually like him in the other position, but his head's a little flatter. It looks like it's going to get hit by the club. Maybe what I'll do is come back later and lighten him up there. But let's undo that, and I'll leave him like that. We'll come in with our other burn tool and darken him up a little bit on this side, and we'll just leave him at that. Good luck, and if you need anything, email me or come see me in class, and that's basically it. Don't forget to name your layers, all right? So double click on them and just name them what you need to name them, and that's it. All right, good luck to you, and I hope you have success with this.